More people and pets are diagnosed with Lyme disease, but that doesn't mean the disease is new. News Channel 2's Nicole Pitt sat down with a woman who's been suffering for nearly 3 decades.
Started feeling dizzy, lightheaded, and I dealt with that for quite a few years.
Susan Slabe remembers a red ring on her arm after a fishing trip in 1987.
Time went on, I started having a lot of little difficulties, like slurring a speech. I would be saying a sentence and then a word would come out backwards, or I'd lose my train of thought in the middle of a sentence and forget what I was talking about. Then it started getting more progressive, and I still didn't know about the Lyme.
It wasn't until several doctors and several years later that she was finally diagnosed with Lyme disease.
The symptoms get worse every time you get a fever. You get sick, you're down in bed for 3 to 4 months. If you get overheated, you're ill, chronically ill. You have to cool off. The whole world is here, and you're over here from the outside looking in.
In chronic cases like Susan's, symptoms can mimic MS.
You're using a cane, you're down, you have down times, you have down periods where you're in bed, and it's a tough thing because you're not all there.
It can affect people's daily lives, and so can some of the other ones. It just changes who you are. And that is, to keep in mind though, there's a big difference between someone who's had Lyme disease for 20 years or 10 years and someone who got infected in June and took their antibiotic in July. Big difference.
Right now, Susan does her best to control her symptoms through diet and making sure she gets enough sleep. Chronic fatigue is a common symptom of Lyme disease. She urges anyone who suspects they have Lyme disease to get tested. And if those tests come back inconclusive, ask for co-infection testing. For that, samples may have to be sent out of state. Susan will be seeing a specialist this fall and is hopeful she will find a treatment. Reporting in Herkimer, Nicole Pitt, News Channel 2.
Well, after falling to the Griffins last night, the Comets are headed to Grand Rapids to